Hello, everybody. This is Neil with Portal to Ascension. Um, Thank you for being with us here today. Today we have a special event, a special interview where we're going to bring on Rob Gauthier, who's going to be channeling Aridif. And the main purpose for this event today is to really promote this event that we're going to be doing in September called the Channel Panel. It's the first of its kind event where we're actually bringing 8 world-renowned channelers in one place in Los Angeles in September for 2 days with nonstop amazing channeling information. And so today is kind of an event in order to explain why this event is so significant, or why it's so big, and the importance of this event. So we're going to actually have a channeling session where we can discuss this with ET energy and kind of see what this means for us as a collective and what kind of information we can expect on that day. So before we get started and bring on Rob, I'm going to play a video, which is the trailer for the Channel Panel event. So here we go.
Back, but you can't perceive it because, again, your reality is a reflection of your vibrational state. Now, some of you get a bit lost when you look at your reality and you say, all right, well, it doesn't match what I keep saying I want to the universe.
I think many people who were perhaps hoping for a big overnight change in 2012 or 2013, and that overnight change hasn't happened outside them, are still a little in shock or grief or mourning for what they are seeing outside them that's difficult. So that has to be taken into account.
And that you are part of a galactic family, that you are part of an infinite universe in which there are a multitude, an unlimited number of life forms, intelligent, wise, loving life forms, and that we are of your family most immediate in the sense that you have shared your genetic DNA with us, and that
your evolution as a species is a conscious journey. It is not a physical evolution alone, as you have seen in your scientific history of your planet. It is an evolution of a conscious soul, a conscious spirit that lives in a non-physical realm that transmits its own desire to not only exist and to expand, but to experience.
We would say to you that the hard part for most of you have been the centuries of resistance that you have lived in. It is the letting go of the resistance that allows the flow.
Yin for the female, yang for the male. In this way, it doesn't automatically trigger these images of men and women in your mind that keeps you locked into gender. Take a breath. This is a big piece for all of you. Release of your attachment to gender, gender roles, gender assignments, and the sexual issues that go along with your attachment to your gender.
Your own physical nexus. That everything representing the alignment of your planet, the alignment of your moon, the alignment of other planets contained within your star system holds a specific grid-based harmonic. This specific grid-based harmonic has created a particular illusion, a veil, as it were.
We are here to discuss with you this shift in consciousness that is well underway in your reality. You are keeping up quite nicely.
Own spiritual journeys when it comes to consciousness, and it can be about pretty much any subject too, from spirituality to sexuality to extraterrestrials and angels and fairies and science, quantum physics, you name it.
That was awesome. So as you can see, this event is going to be amazing. And at this point, I would like to bring on Rob Gauthier so we can begin the channeling session and explore this further.
Hello, Neil. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Doing great. Glad to be
Awesome.
here. This is an exciting thing for me.
Nice to see you.
It's good to see you too. I know that for those of you who might not know who I am, I'm one of 8 channels who are going to be at this event coming up, the channel panel Awakening from Within. So I'm one of the 8, and I'm very, very proud to be here. I'm very proud to have set this up, me and my partner, Kalina Angel. We set this whole thing up and started about a year ago, and it's finally coming to fruition. It's one of the most exciting energies you could be a part of. It's just really, truly an amazing energy of co-creation.
That's awesome, brother. And yeah, this is amazing because I was actually thinking for a few years of how amazing it would be to put a channel panel together with multiple channels. And I did some research and I figured that it was never done before. And it was something that I really wanted to be a part of. So now that you're doing it, it's just like, it's really synchronistic for sure.
Yes. And Neil, you have been amazing. Portal to Ascension's probably one of my greatest heroes coming up and doing
Thanks,
other
brother.
events for smaller companies, doing something for you back at the Starseed Summit and having you guys work with us on this has just been something that has been totally amazing. And I love you and I love Soul. I love everybody over there at Portal to Ascension. You guys really, you inspired me, really.
Thank you, man.
Well, thank you.
brother.
It's been amazing, brother. I'm excited to be here. I want to let everybody know just a little bit, too, about Aridif. Aridif's an entity that is represented as an ancient Pleiadian entity. They live in a star called Deneb. He's their extraterrestrial channeler. Not all the channelers are extraterrestrials, but most of them do connect to extraterrestrial energy or cosmic energy, to say the least. So Aridif is really profound. Some people have described him as like a mixing between the profound information of Bashar and the heart center of Treb, which is another entity I channel, is really loving being. So Aridif has been amazing and brought forward some of the cutting edge information as far as it goes with mechanics of universal consciousness and how it integrates into physical reality. So it's been amazing.
Who can we expect you to channel at the channel panel?
Aridif, I'm going to be bringing him forward also at the channel panel. Most people are excited about his information lately, so I figured it would be fitting in the environment with all those great other channelers to have him mix in.
And are you going to be channeling on both days, or do you have a certain time slot? When will your channeling be?
I am going to be the last channel of the first day, and
Okay.
as far as it goes, it'll be pretty much from right around 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, so it'll be the last spot of the day.
Nice. And where can everybody buy tickets?
If you want to buy tickets, you can go to etwhisper.com or trebchanneling.com. You go to the events tab, and then you go down to upcoming live events, or you can just go to Treb Channeling, that's TREB, and then the word channeling with 2 N's, and then .com/events/live.
Cool. And we'll also have all the information in the description area of the YouTube video, so you can just click read more, and the link will be right there. So shall we get into the channeling?
Yep, I'm ready. I neutralize my energy out. Now, when I connect, it's a little different. Every channel has their own way. It'll just take me a minute or so to really connect. I breathe for a minute, and then I make some oming noises that helps the resonant vibration tone, which allows my own vibration to click into Aridif. So it just takes me a couple minutes of breathing and oming, but once he's there, he'll let you know that he's there, and then you can go forward from that. I asked him to speak a little bit too up front when he first gets in, so we might have something to share about the importance of co-creating and things of that nature. So thank you guys, and here we go. Have fun with Aridif, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Greetings to you all. This is Aridif, that is Aridif, and this is its spell. We know that you have many queries in this day, but before we begin in your queries, Rob has asked us to speak very quickly of the concept of co-creating with mass upon certain subjects of your excitement, but more importantly, what it is to connect to your own higher consciousness integration, but also to co-create with the experience of finding contact within your groups and within your own consciousness. Now, first of all, we wish to define what contact is. Many of you perceive contact as beings or entities from other planets landing upon your own planet in order to co-create communication or transmissions to the entirety of the Earth Collective. And yes, this is one way to experience contact in those means. But when we express what contact is, what we are speaking is one consciousness speaking to another about mutual terms, in the terms of your own desire to reach outward into the galactic consciousness to speak to entities. There are many reasons to do so. The first and foremost is to find truth,
to find your own answer. Now let us express, when entities ask us, what is the truth? What can you tell us that will give us the truth that we need in order to understand why humans are here, how they were created? What are the entities in the spaceships? How are they co-created? How many races? All of these questions are asked, but one concept is not often understood, that each one of you create your own reality, and you create it from such a level that everything within your own creation is quite separate to yourself. Now, we are not saying each one of you are independent or segregated, separated entities. What we mean is individually, each one of you are creating your own reality. Each one of you are creating and co-creating your own reality. Each of you are connecting with one another. You are connecting to entities outside of your planetary consciousness in order to find your higher truths. Then you will express, I found my truth, and all others who say that my truth is not correct, they are wrong. The ego portion of the human believes that there is only one way to find truth, only one truth that will truly appease their hearts and minds. But let us express to you that in each one of your perceptions, seeing that you are building your own reality, it would only bring one concept to our perception that we find truthful, that each one of you have your own truth, that through your perceptions, and through your beliefs, through your experiences, and through your actions, you create and build your own reality, and what you experience, although two may experience one similar thing, all of you experience something quite different from one another. Now, how is this important when we look into the co-creative factor of human entities coming together? We understand Rob is specifically speaking of this one certain project and this one event that is exciting for him. We will speak of this, but we are speaking of this in all co-creations of excitement for you. When you are looking upon gathering with multiple people who carry the same excitements, the same perceptions, the same belief systems that you do, the same desire for expansion, the co-creative mechanism begins to become larger. When you try to create something yourself or manifest, for those of you who enjoy the law of attraction, when you are manifesting your own reality, it can come with some reservations. It can come with restrictions or resistance within yourself. And it is not because the universe is a resistant place. It is because most humans on an individual level are quite resistant in their beliefs. They are quite resistant in their thinking. They are quite resistant when it comes to acting upon those excitements. So now you have multiple entities all sharing a greater excitement. Your excitement becomes contagious to those around you with similar excitements. Your excitement becomes contagious to those who wish to expand in the same manner that you, and now you are co-creating on such a large level that it seems if you were to do it by yourself in comparison, it would be very small, it would be insignificant. Now, we are not saying a singular consciousness manifestation is insignificant. We understand in one entity creating a universe quite a feat. But when multiple entities come together for one creation of the universal structure, of their moment, in the now, with the excitement placed in the forefront, they are able to create upon such a large scale. Now you ask, what is it in the co-creation with the entities who are being channeled? And we are speaking, again, not only for the specific event, but in general. When you call upon entities that are within your oversoul, when you call upon your spirit guides and soulmates, and what most of you would call galactic family, or even the entities that you would perceive to be your hybrid children, all of these entities are quite energetically linked with you. But when you bring them forward to the forefront of your consciousness to co-create, then the co-creational level is even larger. All of you exist within one realm of consciousness, and in a co-creation of this magnitude, you are bringing 8 different consciousnesses from 8 different levels of creation, 8 different levels, whether you call them matrix, dimension, densities, whatever your verbiage is here, you are bringing together quite a powerful chorus. You are bringing forward quite a powerful symphony of energy to co-create with the already large human excitement co-creative mechanism. Now you have a great sea of energy. The ones who come forward into this event, the people who are participating upon the asking side of this event, are the people who will be the representatives of consciousness, the representatives of the questions of humanity to be asked in a co-creation of this magnitude in order to receive just as large of answers as questions given. Now you find that when you look into these answers, they will not only appear to be large, but they will feel large. You will feel the integration of the answer. Most of you would express that the answers given and the power behind the answers are only due to the entities who are being channeled. But we would say this is highly incorrect. The power of the answer of the question comes from yourself. When you ask these questions, when you dare to step into your own belief systems to see what you believe is true or not, these entities are taking the reflection of your consciousness. They are taking the energy from within you to give back to you with tenfold energy. And then when it hits a collective consciousness of a group who is focusing their energy on that now, who is focusing their energy on expansion of consciousness, and who is focusing their energy upon receiving the answer, the magnitude becomes quite unfathomable. Now, this is the type of co-creation all of you can share, whether it is 5 of you, or whether it is 300, whether it is 300,000, whether you bring your spirit guides or entities from the stars, regardless of how you perceive, the co-creative mechanism is the window to building the larger energies, to building the larger co-creations, to building the larger expansion of that collective consciousness, which is focusing their excitement on that now. We thank you. You may begin your queries at your leisure.
Greetings, Aridif.
Yes, greetings to Neil.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
So, my first question would be in relation to the event that's going on and channeling in general. Can you give us a synopsis or maybe a summary of the history of channeling on Earth and how it's evolved until now?
Yes, first of all, when you say the history of Earth, there are multiple portions. There are Atlanteans, there are Lemurians, there are the entities that you would call the Kon-Ki, which were the first inhabitants of Earth. You have all of these different incarnation cycles upon the one larger incarnation cycle. So let us cut through great points of history upon your Earth to the human collective. When you are looking at the human collective, after the fall of Atlantean consciousness, the raising of vibration and consciousness began again. And once this began, there was integrations of other entities that manipulated the DNA of the physical human. Now, through that, there were negative entities, or what you would perceive to be negative entities, who had adjusted your DNA, and then other races within your galaxy did not believe this was correct, and they would come down and manipulate your DNA. And after several races manipulated your DNA to try to rebalance you to what they thought was correct for you, then came along entities who were willing to assist them without affecting their DNA. There are many races who came to this Earth collective. There are Syrian entities, Arcturian entities. There are even Pleiadian entities who helped integrate consciousness into mankind without ever needing to touch their DNA. Through co-creating that mechanism, they begin to work with soul merging. This is where a physical entity would come upon your planet, connect to one who was of a vibration to co-create with them, and merge their consciousness. During this, there were traces of energy upon a subatomic particle level within each physical body, the extraterrestrial in your perception in the human, that would build a bridge. It would build a tunneling system of consciousness. This did not only help activate the telepathic communication ability in humans, but it also began to integrate the waking up of those extraterrestrial DNAs where telepathy was more possible. After this race or these races leave, other races begin to come, one including my own race. And when we came, to your Earth collective, we co-created with your ancient environments, the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Indians, the ancient Sumerians, and even the ancient South Africans. And by doing so, we connected our consciousness and taught them multiple techniques which allowed them to channel. Now, some entities were already very highly intuitive and were building their own techniques, but in the larger areas of consciousness, where larger populations existed, we worked with them. Also, Syrians or Turians worked with them, but these are only the physical interactions. Understand that when an entity as myself, coming from a higher density level, drops our own physical vibration in order to manifest a physical body, this is one feat. But many entities worked in the non-physical sense with humans because their telepathy was open, because their DNA had been activated, because intuition was already beginning to open upon the human race en masse. And this continues. But what is the purpose for channeling? What is the purpose for connecting to the non-physical guides, the co-created collective consciousnesses, the higher dimensional beings? It is very simple. In your oversoul, you are connected to a variety of entities amongst a spectrum that most humans would not believe perceivable. In that spectrum, the energy that you are in that moment will draw to you the energies that are very similar to yours. For instance, Rob and his energy, his desire is to expand, to learn more. So is Trebol Yitney's, so is mine. Therefore, throughout one oversoul, three entities link. Telepathically, Rob began to open himself, made the communication available for Trebol Yitney, and built a relationship. And then their energy built a bridge to mine, and a three-persons co-creation was made. This can happen for all of you. It is turning on your intuition. But what can you learn from this? What can you do when you receive this information? It is for personal expansion. It is for the creative, collective consciousness integration of higher vibration, of higher consciousness. Depending upon your own beliefs, depending on your own perceptions, channeling can be used for literally anything. This is the shortened version of channeling history upon your planet. Thank you.
I had read somewhere that the Syrians, when they came and manipulated our DNA, that they embedded a code in our DNA that when we reach a certain frequency, our DNA would be unlocked. The junk DNA would be unlocked. Do you know anything about this? Can you elaborate on that at all?
Yes, first of all, Syrians were one entity who did manipulate your own DNA. There are several races in the Syrian energy. Understand, Syrian star system has many planets that are inhabited. So when you speak of Syrian, just as when you speak of Pleiadian or Arcturian, these are all very generic terms. One race from Sirius comes to give humans the DNA unlocking. But also, Pleiadians bring the same thing to your DNA. Also, there are certain Pleiadian regions around Alcyon and around Electra that were doing something similar. Now, the Syrians were building a code that was more unique. It was one that would stay in stasis for much longer. It would stay in a holding pattern for much longer. Humans were able to tap into the Arcturian and certain Pleiadian energies much more quickly than the Syrian energy. But then there were visitations from other Syrian races to help them tap in to the lower portions of that DNA in order to make them not wait such a long period in order to expand. Also, the same occurs upon Pleiadian, Arcturian fronts. When you see the constellation in which we reside, you see that there are many stars, and when you look in the area, you see a constellation named Lyra. In the Vegan region, there were entities that came upon your planet and helped unlock some of the very first DNA manipulation. This is from the Anunnaki race. So there are many different DNA manipulations, very many different unlockings of those DNA, and yes, the Syrians were the most long-term of all DNA manipulations.
Are we the ancestors of races such as Syrian races, Pleiadians, and Arcturians? Are we, the human race, their ancestors?
If you are looking at it in this fashion, then yes, you have been lended DNA from several races. There are 7 different races, and within the 7, there are actually 12 subgroups who have multiple DNAs within one race. For instance, Anunnaki. These entities are what you would perceive to be half ancient reptilian and then half Pleiadian feminine. So these are 2 different DNAs within one race already, and their DNA was given to you. So this is 2 different DNAs for one manipulation. Now, 12 of the smaller manipulations were made through 7 races, and in that manipulation, you are literally connected to all of them. You could be considered ancestors or predecessors or whatever term you wish to give this. But in all actuality, the human entity was not manipulated, would still have manifested to evolve into consciousness, and more likely at a much quicker rate. Although their DNA perhaps would not be as multidimensional, it still would have evolved along the natural course of evolution for consciousness.
So when I look around the planet, I see mantis, I see ants, I see humans. I know there are mantis beings, I know there are ant beings. So I feel that Earth is a galactic soup of all the races in our galaxy. So how many races in our galaxy are represented on Earth? Is it all of them, or are there a certain few?
No, you are quite right in saying that when looking at your own planet, it represents a great deal of energy in the galaxy. Now, humans have broken the extraterrestrial races into a certain degree. They have broken it into reptilians, they have broken it into insectoids, avian, feline, humanoid, amphibian. All of these different energies, along with the humanoid form or the human form, all of these energies are being represented and are also represented as second density entities upon your own planet. Now, why is this? Many of you have heard that Earth itself was an experiment, was perhaps an experiment in consciousness of multiple ET races. Now, understand that yes, in a certain way, through your DNA manipulation it was. Yes, through certain species of animal upon your planet, before the humans were manipulated, they tried upon several animal races. And then you look at the concept of certain plants and certain entities that were literally planted on your planet without ever having a course of evolution. So when you are seeing this, yes, it is a great zoo of consciousness. It is a great expression of multiple consciousnesses in one planetary consciousness. But the reason for the wide spectrum and variety of life upon your planet is not just the interference from entities that you perceive as extraterrestrial. This is because your own DNA, your own evolution is a great spectrum. Look at any average human. When you walk around your streets, you can see them capable of the greatest love within any means. Loving their child, giving their life for someone, caring about someone so much that they would bring unconditional love and not make themselves happy to make the other happy. When you see that, that is a great amount of love from the human perception. But you also see the same human who is willing to walk over the street and kill someone to protect the same ones that they love. Now, this is not a normal spectrum of consciousness. Because of your wide spectrum of consciousness, you are manifesting a reality around you with a wide spectrum of energy. This is why you have some of your extremophile entities in your planet. You have entities that can live in plus or negative hundreds of degrees Celsius and survive. It is because your consciousness is a wide spectrum of energy. Therefore, the manifestation of all life upon your physical planet shall be the same.
Are other planets as diverse as Earth? Do they have as many races, as many species as we do?
There are some planets that are built upon the premise of having multiple cultures brought in forward, such as planets that are not inhabited but are capable of sustaining life. They are all centers, hubs for multiple races to come upon to build a planetary consciousness and to co-create together. In that way, there are some of the hubs in the solar systems that are in your galaxy that are more diverse than humans when it comes to races. Now, when you are speaking of the spectrum of wildlife that occurs upon your planet, there are very few. But when you are speaking races of the third, fourth, fifth, or sixth density beings, which are what you would perceive from humans to entities who are very likely physical or semi-physical within your environment, within those there are very few that have multiple races upon the natural form of evolution. But when you are speaking of races that co-create together, that spend time together, that decide to co-create one situation for benefit of more, then yes, there are many hubs within the galaxies, within your own universal structure, that can be quite evolved or quite a high spectrum of consciousness.
Speaking of ET races working together, what ET races that are commonly known actually do work together, have alliances, not on the energetic level, but more of a physical level? Do they do trading? Are they trading natural resources back and forth? What kind of alliances are there?
Now, when you are looking at the concept of the galactic consciousness and the way that trade takes place, or the way that integration of two different races to come together for co-creations, this is done literally all of the time. Many races that the humans are aware of are working together. Those that are centered in helping mankind, such as multiple of the humanoid Pleiadian races, Syrian races, Arcturian races, they are all co-creating upon multiple levels. But understand, we have used those as generic terms. So literally, within the Pleiadian region, there are tens of thousands of different races. In those tens of thousands, there are multiple dimensions within those planetary consciousnesses and solar system consciousnesses. So handfuls from each dimension, handfuls from each layer of creation are gathering, not only with one another in the local Pleiadian region, but also reaching out to the Syrian races, reaching out to the Arcturian races, Lyran races, even star systems in which much of you think there are negativity coming, such as Bellatrix or Capella. Entities are there working for the co-creation of mankind. There are physical things that are always exchanged, but understand those who reside within the fifth density or higher are capable of instant manifestation. They are at a level of evolution in their own consciousness that allows them to literally take the atomic particles around them and create physical matter with just a thought process. I am one of those races. Trebor Yitni is another. Fifth density beings or higher do not need to trade or need resources. They just become available to them at the thought creation level. When you are working upon this sort of environment, there is none needed. But there are many fourth density races that are using technology, helping one another, trading resources, and working to assist mankind upon their own energetic means, but also physical means. You are all aware of multiple nuclear tests that were stopped by extraterrestrial races. Some of those were Pleiadian, some of those were Arcturian, some of them were Syrian. They were all reaching out to mankind to give a helping hand. Many of you have also heard of the liberations of certain shadow governments. These are the more hands-on races. These entities are what we would call type 2 beings. They are ones who worry so much about humans, and they love them in their own variety of love enough to physically step in the way of the human's free will. So they will stop nuclear weapons. They will liberate camps. And in those consequences, those entities are co-creating. But it is not upon a larger level. They understand the consequence of tripping the global mechanism when the globe is not ready for open contact. Now you understand, when we say the Earth Collective is not ready for contact, you would understand that more than half of the entities upon your planet desire open contact. This is true, but many who say that they are ready for contact, when seeing an entity such as Trebor Yitni standing across them, 7½ foot, large teeth, perhaps a menacing presence to most of you, coming on their ships upon your planet, walking out, it would cause quite a different reaction than excitement. It would cause an excitement, but one based from fear. We are working with the human collective on a channeling scale. We are what you would call type 1 entities, where we do not wish to interfere with the human's free expressions or free will. Therefore, if one human decides to channel us and bring us through and share that information, then we are willing to co-create that. But we will not step foot upon your planet and physically move certain energies around to help co-create other things that are more interfering with more of collective consciousness.
So will we be given technology, advanced technology, or will we be creating it ourselves? When we have open disclosure and interacting with ET races, will there be an exchange and a trade of technology, or are you waiting for us to actually create it?
Yes, if you were to ask our race, we are waiting for you quite patiently, and we are willing to give you our own energy of love. Therefore, you are able to use it to manifest whatever you desire. But there are races who have already worked with smaller portions of your collective consciousness and have given them technology. You understand that most of your governments are 100 years or more ahead of your own technology than what you would perceive, or at least this is the story. But in truth, there are 500 to thousands of years ahead of technology. In that way, the co-creational mechanism that all of you are using for the smallest group, these entities are not sharing that with the public or the masses. Those races are trading, but they are trading at a high cost. They are trading for the energetics of one smaller portion of mankind to hold down larger portions. And we understand, we do not wish to get into a great deal of suppression or fear, but we understand that most of you understand how this works upon your planet. The concept is to make it yourself, and then no one is able to suppress you. To find the intuition within yourself, or to find the entities who are willing to help you directly with a one-on-one contact to be able to create this yourself. And when you are able to do this, then no one is able to suppress your energy.
So, one more question based on technology.
Yes.
What technology can we use to leave the Earth? And when we do leave the Earth with that technology, do you have the insight on where we will inhabit first?
Yes, when you are looking at concepts, there is very many probabilities upon your Earth collective consciousness that will co-create with another race to help assist you in this. You are perceiving the entities that most of you call the Yaryel or the Grey Hybrid Program. These entities are one race that will help humans co-create their first larger out of Earth scale, the first leaving of the planetary consciousness with large numbers. Now, in their help to co-create, they are able to assist you in finding, and there are at least 8 probabilities of planets where inhabitants could appear. One of them is within 120 light years in the Cassiopeian constellation. This would be the highest probability in this moment.
Thank you. When can we expect a disclosure to happen on the Earth, or a mass awakening where we humans on Earth basically know that ETs exist?
Yes, now understand that your own free will as one human is one thing, but the environment in which you co-create is another. Therefore, the probabilities are literally endless. You have infinite amounts of probabilities as you yourself, but the collective. Now, the concept is, instead of waiting for a long period of time, what we always suggest is try to build your own energy into collective consciousness that already is willing to open up to that energy and co-create a disclosure to all, an understanding and open communication and contact. Build the contact in yourself first. Open yourself to lack of resistance. Open yourself to connect to the entities that are connectable to you in this moment. Make that connection first. When you are able to make this in yourself, you are shifting your reality. Now, we could express what the mechanisms are of changing this, but this is irrelevant. The concept of change is your own vibrational energy. So when you shift into a vibration, knowing that all around you are wishing to share the same co-creations with you, that is what gets you to the highest probability of closer open contact. Now, there are many dates that you can look at that are high in probability. One that is within 3.5 years, one that is within 12 years, one that is within 27 years, and all three of these dates are probable and high in probability. But it depends upon your own Earth collective to move forward. And this is where all of you can play your own part in this. If each one of you decide, I will expand my consciousness, I will make an excitement to move forward into open contact. Each one of you that do this, again, it becomes a contagion of energy. It becomes a vibrational frequency that is passed on to all who you co-create with. If you are doing this, it will pass upon like an energetically beautiful virus that is passed to all of humanity. Doing this, you are placing yourself in a collective consciousness in where that is able to happen. So work upon yourself first. And this is what we express on all certain details that explain the larger picture. If you are looking into disclosure, disclose yourself to yourself first. Then move forward to disclose yourself to all around you who share excitements, and then co-create the largest scale of disclosure available. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Basically, you're saying disclose yourself, meaning be authentic and true to who you are, so that we can all be at that vibration where a mass disclosure occurs.
Yes, being the truest you that you are able to be in each moment, that is how you disclose yourself. Disclosing yourself to others around you who you co-create with. Be authentic, share your heart, speak from your heart. The throat chakra is that links your heart to your mouth. Speaking the truth allows you to vibrate on a higher level. Speaking your truth, but condemning others' truths can cause resistance in your heart chakra. So be open. Let everyone have their sovereignty and be the most authentic you in which you are able to be in each moment. That is disclosure. We wish to express to you, we are very grateful for this creation this evening. We are very excited to see all of you at a later time and able to co-create other great experiences. It is a pleasure to have connected with you directly, Neil. You are loved.
Welcome back, brother.
How do we do?
That was awesome, man.
Good.
Really
Good.
good.
I'm glad to hear.
Yeah. So, epic. Like, basically, this event, everybody, if you want to know anything about anything, this is where it's at. All information from self-empowerment, unconditional love, spirituality, ancient history, galactic history, who we are as a people, what our individual missions are, and the list goes on. This channel panel event is extremely, extremely epic. It is a milestone in the evolution that we are creating and the energy that we're creating collectively in groups, you know? So I want to thank you, brother. Like, you and Kalina doing amazing stuff, and I'm just super, super, super blessed to be a part of it. So thank you, man.
Thank you, brother, for all the work you have done, that you're doing now, and all the energy that you put out. You know, you've really helped open a lot of people's eyes in this.
Thank you,
Absolutely, bro. I love you very much, and thank you guys all for coming tonight. And you know, maybe we'll see you in LA.
Yeah, and again, if you're watching this on YouTube, in the description area, we'll have a link straight to the ticket page. And plug the website one more time.
Yes, etwhisper.com or trebchandling.com. If you go to events tab, upcoming online events and upcoming live events, but the majority of all the information is on upcoming live events.
Okay, see you there, guys. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
All right, man. You have a good night.
You too.
Bye.